AFTV, time to get into the player rating. Shall I start off with the ref? No, I'll get to him later. I'm still hurting, man. I'm still hurting from dropping 2 points because I think in that first half it was wide open for us to take all 3 points. And even despite the ref, we had enough chances to win this game. If we would have been a bit more ruthless in front of goal, we would have been taking all 3 points away at St Mary's. St Mary's been a really funny place for us. We lost there last year. They always seem to, we've had a few draws there over the years. It's never an easy place for us to go to. So sometimes, I remember years ago, I think a few years ago, I spoke to Granit Xhaka at some event, and we just conceded a sort of late goal and lost the game. And I remember he said to me, he goes, sometimes you just have to get the draw and get out of there. And I think in the end, that was the case in this game. But it could have been so much more. Let's go, first of all, to the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. What did he have to do in the whole game? Shot-wise, he didn't really have a lot to, didn't really have many saves to make. What he did do very well, though, and I'm going to big him up for, was the way he dealt with the corners. They had a lot of corners, Southampton. It's hard to pick it up on the TV, but he was absolutely bucketing it down with rain there. And you got Ward-Prowse whipping in some brilliant sort of in-swinging balls that come right underneath the goalkeeper. And I felt that he dealt with those very, very well. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10, Aaron Ramsdale. Didn't really do much wrong. Moving to the right-back, Ben White, I thought was superb, especially in the first half. And again, defended pretty well in the second half. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I mean, he was an integral part of the goal. Fantastic assist for it. So I'm going to give him a 7. William Saliba, I'm only going to... He gets marked down because we conceded. And also, there was one time when he played a little short pass. Now, I don't know, again, if it's because the pitch was a bit sort of water-sodden that he played that short, but we could have conceded from that had Gabriel and not bailed him out. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Gabriel, on the other hand, I thought, again, had a solid game. Won loads of headers in there from corners. We were under siege from corners. They kept whipping them in, and Gabriel was always there with a strong header. That's really, his game really comes into, focus, the strength of having a player like him in there. So 7 out of 10 for Gabriel. Tomiyasu over on the left-hand side, I thought he did okay as well. You can see why he was in there. There was lots of long throws being put in there. His head always on the end of it. Have to see back there a goal again to just see if he could have done better. He was sort of stood up. He didn't dive in. I don't really think that was his fault. I think it was more a midfield issue, allowing that to leave our sort of back foot exposed like that. But I'm going to give Tomiyasu a 7 as well. Moving into the midfield, this is a really difficult one because the first half, I thought Thomas Partey was brilliant. He was absolutely outstanding. The second half, though, I don't know if he was tired. I don't know. There was a massive drop-off in his performance. And I don't know, maybe we should have even thought about taking him off and bringing on Lokonga, but maybe Mikel Arteta was a bit worried that in the conditions and the way that, they were really getting on top of us, that you've got to keep a player of that quality on the pitch. But he was very poor, especially towards the end of the second half. So to balance it up, I'm probably going to give him a 7 because... let me give him a 6 because he was poor in that second half. But in the first half, he was excellent. Granit Xhaka is my man of the match. What an outstanding goal. He was brilliant. He was up and down that pitch. I think I showed a stat that they said he's run more miles than any other Arsenal player this season. He was helping out in the defence when our backs were against the wall. I thought it was all round a brilliant performance by Granit Xhaka. And another brilliant goal as well. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Well done to Xhaka. Another top performance. Martin Odegaard, a little bit off it today. Should have scored in the first half when well placed. And then he scores in the second half. I felt a bit sorry for him because it was a lovely finish. But the ball had gone out. They did get that one right, the referee and the linesman. It had gone out, and the goal was disallowed. Odegaard today, though, wasn't his normal self. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Moving forward now to the front three, I thought Saka, again, first half, really, really good. Second half, bit quiet. So I'll probably go with a 7. Martinelli at times in the first half as well, unplayable. I thought it was a mistake to take him off. I know during the week he was a bit ill, so I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I wouldn't have took him off because they were scared of him every time he picked up the ball. And I just felt as the game went on, he might have drew a couple of fouls or whatever. And, I think it was a wrong decision to take Martinelli off. But I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Gabriel Jesus, I'm going to give him a 7. He could have had a 9 in the game because he should have had a penalty in the game. He was excellent throughout in that aspect. But he needs to be, I think one of the guys said it in the interview, he needs to be more ruthless. He had a chance in the first half that he should have buried. The chance in the second half when he was through, he should have buried that as well. He should have been sitting on a couple of goals at least in the game. Has to get more ruthless. Seem to be forcing it too much. He needs to relax. Get your composure back because he's a brilliant player. He creates so much for himself and he creates havoc to defenders, but he's got to start finishing some of these chances that he's creating. So 7 out of 10 for Gabriel Jesus. I think I've done all the outfield players. I'm sure of it. Let's move to the substitutions that came on. Eddie Nketiah, I'm going to give him a 4. I thought he came on and he was poor. He didn't hold the ball up. He didn't keep the ball. As a matter of fact, he gave the ball away a lot. He made zero impact. It was a very, very rare bad performance by him because normally when he comes on, he's done brilliant for us. But in this game, I thought he was poor. And, the ball's just bouncing off him. And that's the last thing you need in a game like that. So 4 out of 10 for Eddie Nketiah. I'm also going to give a 4 to Fábio Vieira. Same thing. Came on. Listen, it's a difficult game just to be dropped into like that because of the pace of it and the physicality of it. But he just got bounced off the ball about 2-3 times in the game. One of them could even have cost us a goal. Very poor when he came on. He's got to do better when he just gets dropped into a game like that. So 4 out of 10 for Fábio Vieira. Keiran Tierney, on the other hand, I thought did well when he came on. Nearly had the assists. The ball had just gone out, unfortunately. But he was definitely effective when he came on, Keiran Tierney. And I'm going to give him a 6. There was a good display by him when he came on. Mikel Arteta today, the substitutions I understand why he made them, but I wouldn't have took Martinelli off. I think that was a mistake to take Martinelli off. Apart from that, though, you can't pin it on him. You know what I mean? We were playing great football in the first half. We had enough chances to win it in the second half. You can't pin it on him. 7 out of 10 for Mikel Arteta. The fans, brilliant down there. You notice I'm saving the ref for last. The fans, let me give them a 10. It was absolutely pouring with rain down there on the south coast. And the Arsenal fans were in great voice as usual. Really feel sorry for them that they didn't get the win. So 10 out of 10 for them. Now let's come to the referee. And there was a guy earlier on in the chat who said, I can see Robbie giving him a 0 today. And you're spot on. 0 for that referee. He was diabolical. The last type of ref you need in a game like that. He allowed Southampton to get away with everything, which meant that they could just leave it in on Saka. The amount of times they left it in on Jesus, left it in on Martinelli. He didn't even give, I think he gave a card right at the end. He missed the penalty. Terrible with that. The Ben White one I'd like to see again. Just all round, not even just a penalty incident, all round terrible decision in this game. This guy's not ready to be, I know he's a new referee, they're saying. He's not ready yet to referee in the Premier League, in my opinion, from what I saw today. Maybe I'll see some other games, but based off of what I saw today, he should not be refereeing in the Premier League. He's not good enough. That was a shockingly bad. Can he please explain to me how he has not given that decision for Gabriel Jesus? We saw the identical thing the day before in the Man United game, where Man United versus Chelsea, where Man United conceded a penalty. Man United weren't even complaining. They weren't even moaning about it because they knew it was a penalty, right? How can he explain why he did not give that penalty today? Shocking decision. 0. 0 for that ref. So all in all, it's a 2 points drop. But listen, it's not the end of the world. I don't think it's nothing to get carried away from. If you go somewhere, you play badly, don't lose the game. We're still You know, still on an unbeaten run. Still only lost one game this season. Never easy in the Premier League to go away from home. And, you know, we saw Liverpool yesterday go to Nottingham Forest, the bottom team in the league, and lose. It can happen. We didn't lose. It's points dropped in a game that we should have won because Liverpool actually played really badly. We actually played pretty good in that first half, so we should have got something out of it. But we dust ourselves down, as they say, and we come again. Forest next. Let's step up and get the 3 points. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.